Hey everybody, got another video here for you. So, it's time to start the next build. And the next build is going to be an experimental build. And so the guitar is going to be called the X-17. So the X-17 is going to look a lot like this. This is the X-16. Originally, the parts and stuff for the X-17, it was going to be a leftover parts build, and that's the reason why it's going to be a tail tuner style guitar. If I had more lead time, I already had, it was leftover parts build, so I already had a tail tuner on hand, all the parts. If it wasn't starting life as a leftover parts build, I probably would have put a Steinberger on it from the get-go. So the things that the X-17 is going to be testing out are a leg bar that's mounted on the side, because this apparently is so far forward that the guitar tilts so far back that the bar starts sliding off your leg. And then I'm going to be testing, I've already got the vertical hot rail here on this one. I'm going to be testing 3 hot rails, one here, and then one in the middle. And each one's going to get a 1 meg blend pot. And then all 3 will be wired in parallel to produce a single voicing. It's also going to get a side-mounted acoustic style pin jack instead of a regular jack here. That way you can actually, I think there's enough room to get it in the side of the body sideways, and that way you don't have to make like a cover for the back or anything. It takes up a little bit more real estate going this way, but it allows you to keep the guitar flat. And then the other thing that it's going to be testing is the body blank for the X-17 is going to be Douglas fir. I just happened to come across some Douglas fir online on Amazon, 1x6 by 2 foot body blanks. And I've been wanting to do a Douglas fir build for probably the last, I've been building for like 6 years come next month, come November. And yeah, since like the first year, it was sometime around the first year that I looked at all the specific density and Janka hardness and all those tables and charts for different species of wood. You can find them all online. And Douglas fir was like, had really, really good specs. And so I was like, oh man, I got to get me some of that. And yeah, I just came across some, so I'm going to be using Douglas fir for the body blank. And that's on the way right now. And those are the 4 things that the X-17 is going to test out. There's only one other thing that I have to test in general, and it's not really a test so much as a new effect that I'm going to try. And that is, I got mahogany veneers that I can use for headstocks, put on a headstock, so that I can then do like a natural finish guitar with a mahogany body and a mahogany veneered matching headstock. But this X-17 build is going to be, there was some reason why I wasn't doing it on this. I can't remember why. Doesn't really matter. So this is the neck. This is currently the cheapest neck on cheapest 24 fret on Amazon. Otherwise, I would have probably used an Alkanov, but since this started life, this was originally going to be a leftover parts build. I was like, okay, well, I'll just get a cheap neck, and because this is this is pretty much all I had to buy, and I had all the parts and extra wood and stuff to do a whole guitar for just $40. So, but then came up with things to test, and so now it's going to be the neck for the X-17. So let's see here. It's 24 fret. It's got a 3x3 headstock on it. And that might have been the reason why I wasn't going to do the veneer, because I'm going to carve the heck out of it. It's a maple neck with a maple fretboard, and it has ebony shark fin inlays. And it's all been finished except for the fingerboard top and sides. That's all still bare wood. But it's going to get a trapezoid recarb on it. Let's see, it's got a scarf joint, like all these necks do, unless they're a true Gibson style. 25.5-inch Fender scale length, not Gibson. And like I said, it costs $40. This particular vendor has like about almost a dozen different necks at that price point. You can get them 21, 22 frets, different inlays, different headstocks. But this is the only 24 fret one they sell. Yeah, I probably, if I wasn't getting this to be cheap, I probably would have stepped up another $7 and gotten an Alkanov with the rosewood and copper inlay dots. But it doesn't really matter. So, like I said, the body blank's going to be a slab of Douglas fir, basically. 1x6, 2 foot long. And that was only $17.01. And it'll be here in 2 weeks. So, this here is a sketch of what the body's going to look like. It'll look like the guitar you just saw, the X-16. But in the pickup region, it'll have 3 humbuckers set up this way. And then on this side over here, above the normal on-off switch, it's going to get 3 blend knobs. And then this is where the tuners will be. And if you notice, the bars will attach on the sides instead of on the front. And this is what I came up with for the headstock. There you go. There you can see it's actually a trident shape. You got the curved one on the outside here, curved one on the outside here, and then the pointy one in the middle there. So yeah, it's going to get a trident type headstock. So for hardware, it's going to get string through ferrules up here, these kind of things. And it's going to get a lock nut, leftover parts from a mix and match black and gold build. And I'm pretty sure I have an all black one. In the parts box, so I'll use an I'll fish up a all black one and use that. The tuners and other stuff like that, they're all black, so. And it's going to get a roller TOM, which is right there. And yeah, originally the leftover part plan was a knife edge TOM. And then when I decided to get more serious about the build, I went ahead and ordered this thing up. And this thing, how much does this thing cost? Well, actually, I got the pricing. I'll be going through that later. So yeah, I decided to get better parts and got a roller. And there's a set of locking tuners. Once again, leftover parts. These are my first attempt at trying to get locking tuners for the Roswell build. But they were the right style, but the tuner screw hole location in relation to like the tuner itself. These are like in the middle. They don't go on one corner or the other. They're right in the middle, so they didn't fit. Didn't fit the raws well. Since I'm going to be doing a tail tuner and it's a 3x3 set, I have a couple choices. I can either stack them up. Well, actually, what it means is that I have to stack them up so that you've got 3 left-hand tuners, and then there'll be a bit of a gap between the knobs, and then you'll have the 3 right-hand tuners. Because if you do it the other way around, then the knobs are too close to get. Well, actually, I could do that, but if you're shooting for straight string through, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure it out. Perhaps the best compromise between what looks good and what gives you the straightest string through. No, I should go with what gives you the straightest string through. Or I could just break down and get another set of 3x3s or 6x6s, and then I'd have extra parts to make more tail tuners yet. Or I could get a 6x R set, which is what a right-hand tail tuner guitar uses. If you're on a left-handed guitar, then it would use a 6x L set. And of course, like on all my builds, it's going to get a pair of strap locks. And it'll be using machine screws for the neck bolts and thumb screws for the arm and leg, for the strap and leg bolt bars. So for electronics, as I said, it's going to get 3 hot rails mounted vertically, and there are the 3 hot rails. These are Safus rated at 1314K, and I believe they're wax spotted as well. And each of the pickups is going to have a 1 meg audio taper blend pot, so you can have the full volume, or you can turn them down, but not all the way off. You can turn them pretty low, actually, with 1 meg pot. But you can't turn them all the way off, but they also don't kill the entire signal if you turn one all the way down, like on a classic Gibson wiring thing. And the audio pots are on the way, should be here in a couple days. This is the on-off switch, and that'll just go in line after the basic wiring is pretty straightforward. You have a pickup, and then you put a 1 meg pot in line on the hot wire, basically. And then all the hot wires for the pickups come together, all the hot wires coming off of the 3 pots, and they go to the on-off switch. And then they also go to the jack. This is the pin jack for the build. And the idea is you can put it in there's your body blank. So you put a regular jack in this way, and it sticks. If you surface mount it on a plate, it sticks about 2 millimeters above the back of the guitar, or so to speak. See if this is the front of the guitar. So the idea is you take the pin jack, and as you can see, it will just barely fit. So take this diameter, find out whatever size that is, and drill a hole right there. Take all the hardware off of it, and just put a little CA glue, a little line of CA glue, a couple drops, something like that, and shove it down in there. And then at the back end, what you do is you have your routing for wires and stuff in the back, have your routing channel come up to right about there. So the pins and the end of the jack are sticking into the routed channel. And then you drill a hole in the side of the tail end of the guitar, basically, or you could do it on the bottom side if you wanted. And you install the jack that way. it's basically, it installs just exactly the same way that the kill buttons do, where I just drill a hole all the way through and then put a little glue on and shove it in there. But this way it's just going to be going from the side. So it's also going to get a truss rod cover, and that's the cover right there. This is the cover that came off of the Roswell, the one that came from the factory with the guitar, which was not factory correct for an original Roswell. So I got a OEM style cover, and this is the oval shaped one that came off it. So that's free. That's one of the leftover parts that's still in the build. And as I said, it's going to have machine screws for the thumb screws and for the neck bolts. And there they are right there. One more thing, gets a Tessie kill button. And I have a basic black strap for it, which is on the way. So for the finish, I'm thinking that just natural finish with clear coat would be easiest, because if you paint, then you have to mask stuff off and you have to clean up after it. So for a change, I actually did a pricing sheet for the build before I even started the build, instead of making a pricing sheet for it after it's all done. So I actually already know up front the estimated cost of this guitar. It's $216.88. And here's where all that goes. You spend $40 for the cheapest neck on eBay. Cheapest 24 fret. Yeah, I was only looking for 24 frets. You can probably get 21 or 22 frets a little cheaper. The body blank is $17.01. Lock nuts are about $5. Roller TOM cost me $10.49. And the pickups are currently $15.19 a piece. So it had $45 in pickups roughly. The locking tuners, back when I was doing the Roswell, I wasn't really worrying about the cost. I was trying to get a match. And excuse me, this particular set cost $42.99. Pair of strap locks cost $5. The neck bolts are 40 cents a piece, so 80 cents for neck bolts. The thumb screws are $1 a piece, so $4 for thumb screws. The inserts to go with these are 12.5 cents a piece, and the guitar is going to need a total of 6, which comes out to 75 cents. The blend pots, which are on the way, cost $11.28. The on-off switch is $1. The pin jack cost $13.99. The ferrules, as you can see, I've got ferrules on hand already, so I get them for free. You can probably get a box like this for $5 or $10. And the truss rod cover, as I said, this is a leftover from the Roswell, so this is free, but you can get an ebony starting at $4, and you can get like a bell in a metal in whatever color, more or less, starting at like $3 and change. So yeah, you're talking $3, $4, $5 for a truss rod cover, depending on the style. Then let's see, $4.99 for a basic black strap. Like I said, I'm thinking a clear coat finish is going to be a natural clear coat finish is going to be the easiest way to go. So that would be 2 cans of lacquer at $14, bringing you up to $216.88. So that's everything. Next step is knock off this nut and get to thicknessing the neck and then marking it out and reshaping it with the trapezoid and cutting out the headstock. And the frets, they're a little sharp on the edges. Rolling alone might do the job. Start with the roll, see if they need the corners knocked down or if they need the top ends hit with a half round crown file or anything like that. But yeah, it doesn't feel to have any major sprout. Have to check it with the file first. Yeah, might as well start the build right now, right? So yeah, these frets are okay as far as sprout goes. And yeah, they're okay. So yeah, roll the edges with sandpaper. Should take care of the frets if I'm lucky. Let's check out something else here. Truss rod, it's got a little bit of a back bow to it, so that'll need adjustment. But that's not the really important thing. The important thing is, does the truss rod work? And yeah, that's getting tighter. This is probably putting a lot of back bow into it. That's comfortably tight in one direction now, and it now has relief. So the truss rod works, and now it has too much relief, so I need to bring it back some. What's it like there? I don't really need to set it right now. Yeah, it's back to back bow again. Well, I'll set it flat when the time comes. That's better. It's close. Okay, so yeah, it has a good truss rod on it. It's safe to go ahead and mod and refinish this thing with confidence. So get a big old screwdriver and a hammer. Give it a whack. There it goes. And there it is. Semi-hollow. Little holes. It's not all total hollow type, but yeah. Plain old plastic nut. Seemed to be decently cut and shaped. Okay, so yeah, next thing is clear off the desk and set up the neck thicknessing router sled. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So, until the next one, everybody, have a good one.